Hello guys, welcome to the movie recap review. Happy watching.
Can you help me, please?
Between 2018 and 2020, a notorious serial killer claimed numerous victims. Chapter 3. Can you help me, please? The story begins in Oregon, where a young blonde woman, referred to as the Lady, is frantically driving, trying to escape a relentless serial killer known as the Demon. He pulls up in his pickup truck and fires at her with a rifle, forcing her car off the road. Injured but alive, she abandons her vehicle and escapes into the dense woods. She quickly tends to her injury. Her ear has been severed, before continuing her desperate attempt to evade her pursuer. As the Lady navigates the forest, the Demon methodically stalks her. Eventually, she stumbles upon the remote home of an elderly couple, Frederick and Genevieve, and pleads for their help. Chapter 5. Here, Kitty! Kitty! The Lady, trembling with fear, hides inside a chest freezer as the Demon prowls through the couple's home. Frederick lies dead in the kitchen, his lifeless body a chilling reminder of the brutality that lurks just outside her hiding place. Genevieve is nowhere to be found, her fate uncertain. The Demon methodically searches the house, firing shots into several chests but missing his target. The tension mounts with each step he takes. Finally, he approaches the freezer where the Lady hides. A single shot is fired into the freezer, and her terrified screams give away her location, sealing her fate. Chapter 1. Mr. Snuffles. The film flashes back to the beginning of the Lady and the Demon's twisted encounter. They meet for what's meant to be a casual one-night stand, with the Lady requesting BDSM play. This time, she's sporting red hair, a sharp contrast to her later appearance. After parking outside a dingy motel, she begins a candid conversation, warning the Demon about the risks women face in such situations. She even jokingly asks if he's a serial killer. He laughs it off, denying it, and the tension eases as they share beers and cigarettes before heading inside. Once in the motel room, the Lady instructs the Demon to tie her to the bed and choke her as part of their game. However, as things escalate, she suddenly tells him to stop. Ignoring her, the Demon becomes forceful, binding her tightly and slapping her across the face while threatening more violent acts. The Lady, appearing distressed, tearfully utters the safe word, Mr. Snuffleupagus. Taken aback, the Demon immediately apologizes, thinking he crossed a line, but the Lady bursts into laughter, revealing she was enjoying it all along. Just as the tension lightens again, the Lady glances at the Demon and experiences a sudden, terrifying flash of something dark and horrifying in him. Chapter 4. The Mountain People. The scene opens with Frederick and Genevieve enjoying a peaceful morning, sharing a pleasant breakfast in their remote mountain home. Their quiet life is abruptly interrupted by frantic banging at the door. The Lady, injured and terrified, pleads for help. Without hesitation, the couple tends to her severed ear, bandaging the wound before offering her some food. Genevieve steps away to fetch medicine, while Frederick attempts to call the police. The Lady, in a panic, begs him not to involve law enforcement. Moments later, Genevieve hears a loud commotion and Frederick shouting from the kitchen. Rushing back, she finds Frederick lying on the floor, dead. The Lady, her demeanor changed, now demands that Genevieve gather supplies, having learned that the couple are doomsday preppers. As the tension heightens, the Demon arrives at the doorstep, his hunt far from over. In the chaos, Genevieve flees into the woods, while the Lady, sensing the Demon's approach, scrambles to hide, eventually taking refuge in the freezer. Chapter 2. Do you like to party? Back in the hotel room, the Lady and the Demon are still enjoying their wild night, lost in their reckless fun. At one point, she pulls out a bag of white powder, and they both snort it. Shortly after, the Demon begins to feel strange and attempts to leave the room, but his body goes limp. Seizing her moment, the Lady drags him back inside, revealing that she drugged him with ketamine. While the Demon lies sedated, the Lady takes a blade and carves the initials EL into his chest, unveiling her true identity as the notorious serial killer known as the Electric Lady. With her victim incapacitated, she searches through his belongings, only to make a shocking discovery. He's a cop with a badge hidden in his things. Just as she prepares to finish him off, the demon unexpectedly grabs his gun and fires, blowing off her ear in a desperate counterattack. The lady, wounded and startled, flees the scene. She stumbles into a nearby motel and runs into the clerk, Libby, and her assistant, Tanya. When Libby instructs Tanya to call the police, the lady silences her instantly, killing her on the spot. She then threatens Tanya, demanding her car keys. This sets off the high-speed pursuit that would later lead the lady into the deadly game of cat and mouse with the demon. Chapter 6. Who's Gary Gilmore? After the lady appears unconscious from being punched in the face, the demon calls for backup, referring to himself as RC. Moments later, the lady stirs and regains consciousness, confessing her twisted motivations. She reveals that she was inspired by infamous killer Gary Gilmore and desires to die as he did. Tearfully, she admits that despite the chaos, she had begun to feel genuine affection for the demon during their brief time together. As the demon rises, the lady seizes the moment, grabbing a can of bear spray and blasting it into his face. Blinded and stumbling, the demon is caught off guard as she viciously bites into his neck, tearing out a chunk of flesh and severing his jugular. He bleeds out on the floor while the lady takes his gun from his pants. Not long after, the demon's fellow officers, Pete and Gail, arrive at the scene. The lady plays the victim, and Gail rushes to her aid while Pete grows suspicious. They agree to take the lady with them to get her medical attention. As they drive away, they encounter Genevieve, who desperately seeks help. Just as Genevieve is about to recognize the lady in the back seat, the lady quickly shoots her, silencing her for good. She then forces Pete and Gail to surrender their guns. Out of a twisted sense of gratitude for Gail's kindness, the lady spares her, ordering her to leave the vehicle. With Gail gone, the lady commands Pete to keep driving, taking control of the situation as the nightmare continues. Epilogue: The Electric Lady. Pete pulls over on a desolate, quiet road after the lady orders him to stop. In a moment of desperation, he asks her why she kills. With eerie calmness, she replies that sometimes she doesn't see humans at all, only devils. Suddenly, she experiences another flash, like the one she had with the demon, where she sees Pete transform into a red, demonic figure. Without hesitation, she shoots him, leaving his body slumped in the car as she exits. The lady then flags down another driver, slipping into her usual routine, playing the frightened victim in need of help. The driver, unsuspecting, allows her into the car and begins dialing for assistance. As the lady glances at herself in the rearview mirror, she sees another brief, devilish reflection, a momentary glimpse of her own distorted soul. A tearful expression crosses her face. Reaching for her gun, preparing to make her next move, the lady is caught off guard when the driver shoots her first. The driver calmly calls 911, explaining that she acted in self-defense and is bringing the injured woman in. As the car moves forward, the lady, bleeding and broken, slowly loses consciousness. Painfully aware of her own mortality, she slips away into death.
And that's the end of the story. I hope you liked it. Comment down below what movies do you like us to recap next. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Until next time.